Hey my lovelies, welcome back to my channel, and here we have the final design of the week using the Gems colour of the week, the beautiful Tabitha. I've gone for a real spring green design for this one. So if you guys would like to see how I've created this final set of the week, then please keep watching. So I'm working on Liza, my Elena hand for this design. I've applied the Gems stiletto tips, and then from the Gems acrylic range I am using Crystal Clear and Pinky Pink from the cover range. I've also got the colour of the week, Tabitha. I'm going to be using a glitter from this spring stacker. This is Galway Girl. It's a very spring mix, and I'm also going to use a touch of the Tabitha gel polish. So getting straight in to the design, and I'm just applying my thin clear base just to the nail bed and just bringing that over top of the join between nail and tip. I wanted a nice long stiletto design for this one, so I've kept my tips at the full length. I've done so many recently where I've cut the tips down to a shorter length, excuse me, just because I'd had a few requests for shorter designs, but I have been missing my long sets. So starting off on the middle finger, and I'm doing a reverse smile line. So I am using Pinky Pink for this. I've applied the bead where I want my smile line to be. I have blended the back of the bead down towards the cuticle, and then I'm just using the brush to shape that smile line and making sure I've got a nice wall that is even from side to side in height. Doing as much work as I can with the brush so that I've got limited filing to do, but you know, never need to worry too much if your smile lines aren't spot on, because you just go in and neaten them up with the nail file. I've then gone in with a second bead, blended that into the first, and I've decided to go for quite a large nail bed on this design, so it's going to take a third bead to fill right to the cuticle. So I've just tucked that in, so I've got a nice neat cuticle without too much bulk, and then just blend that bead into the first two, not worrying about my apex at this point because I'm going to create that with Crystal Clear. And then on the ring finger I am doing exactly the same, so starting off with my smile line bead and blending it back towards the cuticle. I probably didn't drain out quite enough liquid with this one, but I got there in the end. And I do tend to check between the two nails to make sure I've got sort of similar smile line in shape and in sort of distance from the tip. If you want to be spot on perfect with the sizes, you can use a fabric tape measure and actually measure it. I do have one, I just didn't have it to hand, so I was doing it by eye. And I'm just repeating the entire process on this nail, so building up with my beads, keeping that shape of the smile line, and then I'm going to cap them both in clear acrylic. So now I'm happy with those nail beds and those smile lines. I'm going to go in with Crystal Clear acrylic. I'm going to cap them. This is where I get the apex in, so that I'm sure that I've got all the right structure for this nail. I can also build up a little bit more height where that smile line wall is if I don't think it is quite high enough, or even it out if it's looking a little bit wonky. Just had a little something in that acrylic that I didn't want in the finished nail, so just got rid of that, and now I'm just sort of faffing around tidying it back up. Again, if it's not perfect, it doesn't matter, because you can just file it and smooth it out. That way, I want to try and make sure that I've got that smile line as neat as possible though, just because it does limit the amount of filing you have to do. But you know, if it's not, don't worry, the file will save you. I'm going to do exactly the same on the ring finger, and then we're going to get into the rest of the design. So while that smile line and nail bed fully sets, I am going in with the lovely Tabitha on the index finger and also the pinky. Now this is a very soft green off-white. On camera and at times it does look white, but as I've introduced it before as Colour of the Week, it does have a very, very, very pastel green sort of tint to it. It is very pretty, it is very soft. It's perfect for alternatives to white, I think. I've said before, you know, spring green, spring brides, prom nails, lovely alternative to white. It's a very pretty colour. So I'm just doing an ombre on these two nails. So I've applied my beads, blended back, and then painted it down to the very tip, and then I'm coming in with my cover powder Pinky Pink and applying the nail bed. So I have placed the bead where the Tabitha sort of blends out, and then just blending the front of that bead into it, pat down the back so I can put my cuticle bead in, and then here I've come in with my cuticle bead, tucked it in, and then again I'm just blending the front of that bead down into my ombre. Because this has got a lot of white to it, it does, not Pinky Pink, Tabitha has a lot of white to it, it does ombre really beautifully like most baby boomers do. And then I'm repeating the process on the pinky. Yeah, this is the pinky. Not worrying about any apex or structure. I've used Tabitha as a design powder, so that does need to be capped. The blend will need to be capped, and I'm also going to add a touch of glitter, which also needs to be capped. Just adding in a little bit more where I wasn't happy with the blend, but the blend was all going to be covered in glitter. Off camera, I have filed my smile line so they're nice and neat. I've also just neatened up the surface of that nail bed, cleaned it off, and now I'm just decanting a little bit of the Tabitha gel polish on my my painted and posted palette. Unfortunately, painted and posted are now closed. I'm really gutted about that, but I will always have my palette and all my other pieces. I'm using the Gems Avery brush from the double-ended Addison and Avery brush, and I wasn't happy with that. So wipe it away. But what I am going to do, they were a little bit wet still, so just tidy them, wipe them off. Now I'm painting this just around that wall. Don't worry if you overlap the nail bed, because that is all how it needs to be, so anything that gets on top will be filed away. I just want to paint it around the wall. This is going to just add a little touch of a darker green right at the smile line, because the gel is slightly darker than the acrylic. I don't want anything on the tip surface, just painting it right around. Now I'm going to cure it for 60 seconds. Brought in my little portable lamp, and I am going to go in with the second coat, and I may have even done a third coat, I can't remember. So not worrying about a little bit on the nail, but I don't want bringing it down the nail too far. I want it focused just around the wall and right up at that smile line. So just going in with a second coat here, just painting it all the way round. Again, those little bits on that nail bed, not going to worry about them, they will file right off. And then when I'm happy with the coverage, I am going to cure again for 60 seconds. Now if I did add a third coat, I don't think I kept it in, but I actually think I was happy with 2 coats. Move the palette out the way so I don't cure the gel polish onto that, and then hopefully I'm going to bring my little lamp in again and cure. Yeah, here we go. So fully cure for 60 seconds, and then on the rest of the tip I am going to apply the Tabitha acrylic. Make sure I get right up into those wings with the acrylic. I am sort of painting this or applying this right up to the high point of my nail bed. You can use these colours as strength powders, so they don't need to be encapsulated. I normally would paint them on and then encapsulate, but I think I applied them a little bit thicker in this design, and then at the end when I was encapsulating the index and the pinky, just added a little bit of clear where I felt I needed a little bit more height. But I'm just painting that right down to the very tip of the nail. Want to make sure I've got good thickness at that cuticle, at that stiletto point. And then when I was happy with the first one, we're going to do exactly the same on the ring finger. So you see I'm just adding a little bit more, so I've got a bit more thickness at that very point at the free edge. And then exactly the same on the ring finger. So again, I want to make sure I get right up into those wings. I don't want any little gaps of acrylic. I want you know, a nice even transition on the wings from that nail bed into the acrylic. So yeah, just applying this now right to the very tip of the stiletto, and then as I said, that is this now done. I just added a little bit of clear at the end where I felt it needed a touch more thickness, but otherwise I wasn't adding anything else to this nail. Moving back to the index finger and the pinky, I'm going in with a little wash of clear acrylic just where that blend is, and then I'm just picking up with my wet brush, there's no acrylic on it, just a little bit of that glitter. We've got some nice sort of green toned iridescent, we've got some green butterflies and some green flowers, and I'm just feathering it back slightly and down the nail. I want the focus of the glitter to be sort of where that blend is. I don't want to sort of cover much more of the nail, just where that blend is, and then I sort of just picked out the flowers and the butterflies and moved them around until I was happy with the placement. And then exactly the same on the pinky, and that is the acrylic and glitter part of this design done. So you all know what that means I've got to do next. I'm going to have to encapsulate these nails in clear acrylic, especially the index and the pinky. Add a little bit of clear on those tips where I feel I need it, on the middle and the ring finger, building up the apex and all the correct structure, and then I'm going to file them back to that nice sharp slim stiletto shape, refine the surface of the nail, and then we're ready to come in and finish this design off. So here we have them freshly filed. You have to look closely to see that little line of the gel polish, but when you actually look at these in real life, I absolutely love how it looks. Now I decided I needed to add a little touch of bling on these nails, so I've got the Olivia Preciosa mix from Gems and the Elvish mix from Crystal Chaos. These are both beautiful green mixes. starting off with an opal from the Elvish mix. This is sort of a green tinted oval, and then a couple of green AB crystals, and I'm just going to do a little line of crystals around the cuticle. I'm doing these big ones on the 2 nails, and then I'm going to build up down the side using the greens from the Olivia mix. So I'm just using little dots of glue and my pickup tool to apply the crystals. And as I said, just using a mix of those greens. There's about 4 different green colours, I think, in the Olivia Preciosa, but they're all small crystals, and I wanted a couple of bigger ones right in the middle, which is why I mixed the 2 mixes. So I'm just doing those Olivia crystals on one nail, and then I'm going to do exactly the same on the other nail, and then it's time for my favourite part of the design. So we're going to make sure the glue is fully dry before we go in with Miss Tina Top, the queen of all top coats. So I'm going to apply a nice layer of this to all of those nails. Make sure it is fully covered from cuticle to tip. Just going to push my brush right up against those crystals without actually covering them. Sort of get the edges of the brush just into any little nooks and crannies between those crystals, so that we've got that extra layer of security to keep those crystals in place. And then when Tina is applied to all of these nails, I'm going to pop in the lamp to do a 60-second cure, and this design is done. Now obviously, if you are working on human hands, whether they be your own or a client, let that top coat cool just for a minute or 2, and then go in with some cuticle oil, and then the service is finished and you can take your photographs and send them on their way. But Miss Liza does not need any cuticle oil, so that is the design done. I absolutely love this design. I've really enjoyed the designs I've done this week, but this one, it is so simple, and it's really subtle for me. I absolutely loved it. That little bit of glitter in the middle. If you look close up, you can just see that little touch of Tabitha gel around the smile line. I thought it was a really nice design, really fresh and simple for spring. So I loved how this one turned out. I definitely knew I wanted to leave this one to last this week. But we have now come to the end of this video, and we have also come to the end of Tabitha's colour of the week. So please let me know what you think of this video in the comments down below, and give this video a thumbs up and click that subscribe button to my channel. Check out the description box because I'll pop all the product details and links in there. If you want to get Tabitha while she is only £5, you need to get shopping today, because tomorrow she is back up to full price. But don't forget, all full price products you can use Helen 5 for 5% off at the Nail Team. I have loved having a play with Tabitha this week. It has really reminded me what a beautiful colour she is, but we do have a new colour and glitter of the week coming tomorrow. Now, I may not have quite as many videos for you this week. I have not had the best of, or in the coming week, I've not had the best of week to do filming, but I will try and get a few for you guys. So check back tomorrow to find out what the new glitter and colour of the week is. But thanks so much for watching. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Bye. Mwah.